So can you stand all the excitement? You know, the likes of Kawasaki and Hatton rightly earn glamour status on Saturday nights because of their outstanding achievements. But in the early weeks of this new season, we'll be crossing the country, looking for the young men who could follow in their footsteps into title chance this season. It's not the sort of sport that you can make easy predictions about. So, Jim, what are your predictions for the new season?
Well, the first prediction, I'll probably get quite a few predictions wrong. But last season, a few of the top boys in Britain had their bubbles burst. We'll have to see how they come back from that. There's some young guns coming through who maybe they feel they're ready to take over from these big guys. So all in all, I predict an exciting season ahead. One certainty, tonight's top of the bill is for the vacant Commonwealth lightweight title. And it's a Liverpool man, David Burke, the 1996 Olympian who was lined up to be a big name when he first turned pro. Now he's 27. There'll never be a better chance than this to break through. A vacant Commonwealth title belt and very much on home territory tonight here in Liverpool. And as fate would have it, a change of opponent to Manchester's Gary Hibbert, approved by the Commonwealth Council after injury and illness to James Armour and Mike Muya. So we have Liverpool against Manchester in our top of the bill to get us underway. The Liverpool man Burke with sellout home support. And this crowd at the Everton Park Centre has witnessed big title wins for the likes of Michael Jones recently, the new Commonwealth light middleweight champion. So there's a revival going on here, Jim. Can it spur on the likes of Burke, do you think? Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's bad news the way this fight came about, but Burke has reached the stage in his career where he has to show what he has in the tank. And thankfully, this is a good match. Hibbert's at exactly the same stage, they're exactly the same age. Neither has been involved in a 12-rounder before. They've both suffered an inside the distance defeat and come back from that. They've shown a bit of character, both showing a little bit of form. So this is an excellent match, and I'm sure we'll have an excellent fight tonight. First live for us tonight, another Liverpool youngster who could be about to make a big mark in this new season. The name is Tony Dodson. Craig Slater tells you all you need to know about him so far.
He's making waves on Merseyside, and on a tide of local support, Tony Dodson's ready to launch into the big time.
Everton Park is the place for me. I love it. It's like my home now. I'm used to it. It's like a second home to me. I go in there, and the vibe I get from it is stand on the back, on my back, stand up on end. I just can't wait to get in there.
Still only 22, Dodson's career had an erratic start, devastating at times. He could be equally disappointing. But when Brian McGee wouldn't face top-ranked American Brian Barbosa, Dodson signalled his ambition, stepping in at just 3 days' notice before coming of age with a classy win.
It was a big step to take, but like, I'm a confident lad and I knew I'd beat him. I just beat him at everything. I beat him at his own game. It showed you my heart, my ambition and my will to win.
Victory came at a price. A damaged right hand sidelined Dodson for 5 months. But now he's back and desperate to make up lost time against tough Belgian Mike Algoet.
I'm not looking too far ahead in the future. Just stay busy, stay active, get a bit of experience.
Looked so good, Dodson, against Barbosa, but has to prove that injury problems are behind him and that he can do it every time he goes into the ring. And it might be more difficult to look good tonight against Mike Algoet, the Belgian, who extended Howard Eastman, Steve Roberts and Gary Lockett on previous appearances here. We welcome, back by popular demand, our commentary team, Ian Darke and Glenn McCrory, our Master of Ceremonies here in Liverpool tonight, John MacDonald.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and welcome along to the Everton Park Leisure Centre here in Liverpool, England, for tonight's championship boxing. Proudly presented by Barry Hearn for Ringside Boxing Promotions, in association with Prince Promotions and Matchroom Sport, all sponsored here by Hustle Roda. And a very warm welcome to our viewers joining us live and exclusive here on Sky Sports. You've joined us for a brand new season of boxing and the very best ringside seat in the business. All the officials have been appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control, Supervisor Dennis Lopton and Alex Papafio. Our inspectors, Kevin Crawford, Steve Ray and Bert Smith, and our doctors here at ringside, Dr. Stead, Dr. Pinkney and Dr. Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 10 rounds international super middleweight contest. Time to give the bell, Gary Grennan, and referee in charge of the action is Mr. Tony Green of Sheffield. They were the officials. Let's meet the boxers. Firstly, our visitor. He's joining us here in the red corner, wearing the white trunks trimmed with blue. Weighing in at 11 stone, 11 pounds, and bringing a 32 fight record, 20 wins, 11 inside the scheduled distance, and 12 losses. Coming to the ring as the current Belgium champion, would you please welcome, from the beautiful town of Bruges, Belgium, Mike Algoet. And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the light blue and white trunks and weighing in at 11 stone, 13 pounds, 10 ounces. Bringing a 15 fight record, 13 wins, 8 inside the scheduled distance, 1 loss, 1 draw. He comes to the ring as the reigning Central Area Super Middleweight Champion. Would you please welcome, from Liverpool, England, the Warrior, Tony Dodson. Well, let's get the action underway. 10 round international Super Middleweight Contest.
Bonjour, Tony. You know the rules, fellas. One's a good, clean contest. When I tell you to break, I want you to break. Remember, defend yourselves at all times. To his gloves, good luck.
Well, Tony Dodson is going to be one to watch, I think, over this next year. He's only 22 and produced an eye-catching win over the former world title challenger Brian Barbosa over 8 rounds last time out. He suffered a broken right hand in that fight and has been out for 6 months since then, but they've been refining the technique in the gym, and he's in here with the respected Belgian Mike Algoet, who's I think really a big light middleweight, so Dodson much the bigger man naturally here. The Belgian with the blue stripe down his trunks, the kind of skirt effect of Tony Dodson, who 2 weeks ago became a father for the first time. So congratulations to him and Danielle on the birth of young Anthony. Dodson with a lot of time on his side. He's blown hot and cold a bit in his pro career so far, but is absolutely in love with the business and is the kind who could make big strides quickly.
Well, he's going to get a lot of confidence from his last fight, a very good win for Dodson, but, you know, problems with the hand, had an operation, so it's whether, you know, he's lost a bit of confidence in using that right hand. What effect has that had on him?
Keep a lookout for that. Super middleweight division, of course, has been a very good one for Britain in recent years. Joe Calzaghe, much respected at the moment, he's the top man in the world. People like Robin Reed, David Starry, Glenn Catley around. Algoet looked a little bit troubled, having taken a right hand there. He's definitely going to feel the power. He's naturally very durable, the Belgian light middleweight champion and Benelux middleweight champ.
But I think already, Ian, that right hand has just worried Algoet. That was a decently short little counter shot from Dodson.
He did last 6 rounds, Algoet, with a heavy-handed Swede, Frederick Alvarez, back in March. Dodson might be another question. Dodson, who's been boxing since he was just 6 years old, he's made a life out of it. Algoet, who was 16-0 when he came over to fight Howard Eastman, but got stopped in 8 rounds. That lasted the distance with Steve Roberts and Gary Lockett. So he's a hard guy to stop.
Yes, he can be awkward, you know, if he's allowed into the fight a bit, can make it difficult, and that's where Dodson has to get him, hit him and hurt him early, I think.
From Dodson. Algoet took it pretty well. Welcome back. Words about the history of that championship. There is none.
Well, there's a good right hand. Just finding a couple of good shots that I think shook Algoet, and that's what he needed to do.
Tony Dodson with his back to you in the sort of sky blue and white skirt. That's the only description really that comes to mind. Algoet with a record of 20 wins and 12 defeats. In fact, he lost all 5 last year. He's done a bit better this year and actually won that Benelux middleweight championship and Belgian light middleweight title. Almost walked into a big right hand there, Algoet. His 5th visit this to Britain.
Don't keep holding, fellas. Don't keep holding. Tidy it up.
Could be some ring rust for Dodson after so long away, and as Glenn was saying, keep a look at how often he throws the right hand, how much confidence there is.
Well, there's a couple of times already he's looked to let it go with a bit of power. But if he feels a twinge or anything, what will happen then?
Have a nice little right cross. Algoet put in with a little left on the inside. Dodson, whose grandfather Tony boxed in the army, it's definitely in the blood. His dad Eric's in the corner. Never misses a training session.
Step back, Tony, step back. Step back.
There's definitely a feeling with Dodson that he's not the finished article by a long way yet. I know one of the things they've been working with in the gym is to get a bit more lateral movement into his work.
Well, this thing is still a rug, and at 22 he's got plenty of time, and he doesn't want to be in too much of a rush. He's got to develop naturally.
Right.
Looking for that right hand, just neglecting the jab a bit early on, Dodson.
He's looking for the power shots, maybe a bit too much. We were wondering if he would look for them. He, in fact, is looking for them too much. Maybe just needs to steady up, get some rhythm, get the jab working, and just, you know, get into this fight. Let it all come naturally.
He so much wants to impress, and he's in front of his home fans here at Everton Park, which he calls his second home. But that brings a kind of pressure of its own. Good little left hand from the knowing Algoet.
We have more football action for you coming up on Sunday. It's live coverage of the Masters Grand Final from 4 o'clock on Sky Sports 1 on Sunday afternoon. Championship boxing tonight from Liverpool, and one of the city's big hopes, Tony Dodson, not having things all his own way here.
Third round coming up. Don't forget, top of the bill tonight, David Burke beat Gary Hibbert for the Commonwealth lightweight title. Third round of this one. Dodson in the sky blue and white with his back to you. Scored a lot of points when he came in as a late substitute for Brian McGee and beat Brian Barbosa last time. McGee's people didn't want the fight, didn't think he was ready for it. So I guess Dodson v McGee is one to make somewhere down the road in the next few months if they want to.
Yeah, that would be a natural pairing in a little while. I think Dodson would still want a few more fights under his belt, get the experience.
There's a cut, I think, for Dodson around the left eye. Crowd trying to lift him. It's not much of a cut, but it's a developing one.
Dodson.
And far from holding back with the right hand, he's looking for it all the time. But what happened to the left jab?
Well, that's the problem, I think, a little bit. He's looking for the big punch far too much. Needs to start putting some combinations together. Work that jab.
Dodson being told not to hold on the inside.
Keep your head up, keep your head up.
Just getting a bit messy here in the third round, and Dodson not able to impress in the way that he would want to. I think he may already be one of those operators who looks better the bigger the fight you give him.
Well, fighters sometimes are like that. They need something to really motivate them, to get them going, to bring the best out of them. And you could be right here, and that's maybe the sort of fight he needs.
He has come unhinged once against Varazan Daviatan of Armenia back in March, Dodson, which was a bit of a worry. Put it down to rawness, if you like, but he was out-hustled. And Algoet here wants to make an argument of it.
Well, I'm in a little bit of trouble with the southpaw stance of Algoet, and Algoet being a little bit awkward. Dodson needs to try and get back to his box and find his jab and pick his shots.
Let's take a look at the British picture with the super middleweights. Good division, as I was saying. Joe Calzaghe, widely regarded as the best in the world, never mind Britain. Then Robin Reed, former world champion David Starry, who's on a good run again now, Gee and Tony Dodson. I think those two ought to meet, but you could say that about a lot of divisions in Britain. We need to see these fighters fighting each other and not be told by promoters to wait till sometime down the road when the fight means more. What usually happens is the fight goes away and ends up meaning nothing.
That's right, somebody gets beat and what potentially was a big fight just never happens.
It's happened with our light middleweights, isn't it?
Most definitely. Good matches have all seemed to disappear now.
Accidents will happen. Here's round 4. Dodson struggling to impress so far. Durability and experience of the opponent, bit of ring rust, bit of inexperience, all combining to make it a little difficult for him.
Well, it's something that we've seen in his makeup before from Dodson. You know, the inability to lift himself, and you know, this is what he's got to do. You know, he's in with a smaller man. He's really got to impose himself.
I mean, we can talk up the competence and durability of Algoet, but the fact is he's nothing really more than a light middleweight, and he loses a lot.
Yep, and that's really, you know, he does, decent fighters, he does make them not look that good, and that's what he's trying to do here with Dodson. But really, Dodson's just got to go in and pose himself, get right on top of Algoet and keep the pressure on. Getting caught with a few silly shots as well, Dodson.
Certainly doesn't want to have another unscripted defeat.
There's a nice uppercut in there when Algoet come in. Dodson caught him.
Just got him going momentarily there. Algoet wants to hold on the inside. The gum shield of Algoet has came out. He's crowding his own work a little at times, Dodson.
Algoet actually lost a badge off his shorts, not his gum shield.
Lost the badge off his shorts.
That's the badge.
How did you mistake that for the gum shield then? Still looking for big right hands all the time, Dodson. It's a ploy that has had only limited success so far. Notice he's wearing the raised gloves. I think they want to blast this guy out of there, make it a splash.
Let's have some boxing, Tony. It's all over him. You're not doing very
A lot
well.
of holding, he says.
Right.
says the referee. I think he wants the whole thing cleaned up. Oh, Algoet with a left hand, and he looked disorganised there in defence, didn't he, Dodson?
He did. He's getting hustled out of this round. He called a couple of good left hands from Algoet, and he's not having it his own way.
More holding on the inside. Well, Dodson's army of fans are trying to lift him here, but it's proving quite a difficult night's work, this. There is Mike Algoet. You don't get too many pro boxers out of Belgium. There was Jean-Pierre Koopman, the fellow who fought Muhammad Ali and drank champagne in the dressing room beforehand and became the happiest loser in history.
Well, there's always a story, isn't there? Celebrating just going in, I think.
I think he was the guy that went to the press conference and was supposed to be told by the promoters to talk big and went in and asked for Ali's autograph.
Never a good ploy, is it?
This is round 5 of this one.
Let him go, Tom, let him go.
Dodson with his back to you. With the light blue and white skirt, the conventional trunks of Mike Algoet. Travels around Europe making his living. He loses a bit more than he wins these days. Been a pro for 6 years.
But he's certainly trying here. For me, he won the last round, and his left hand is giving Dodson all sorts of problems.
And his southpaw style.
Let him go, Johnny.
He is the kind of fighter who's hard to look good against, I think, Algoet. I mean, when you think that Howard Eastman took 8 rounds to put him away, and Eastman, world-class middleweight, as we know. Says something, doesn't it?
It does. You know, he is tough, durable. But I mean, you know, Dodson, a much bigger man, really has got to, you know, take the fight to Algoet and start throwing shots. Dodson just loading up with the one shot. He needs to stand over and throw combinations, take the fight out of Algoet.
Is this really the story of the disappearing jab, as far as Dodson's concerned here tonight? He's not boxed his way in, has he?
No, the jab has not worked very well at all. You know, he started off this fight looking for the right hand, and you know, find it difficult to change his style mid-fight.
Ready? Come on, let him go, let him go. Ready?
Maybe that goes back to the old amateur thing where jabs don't get scored on the computer.
Well, that could be it, but you know, you work enough in sparring to start getting these things working.
Cuts just a little worse by the left eye of Dodson. It's nothing serious.
Right, come on, let him go, let him go. Right, on his head, John, don't on his head now.
The problem for Dodson is just not throwing the punches. You know, he's got to start letting shots go.
It's a curious performance after he looked so good against Brian Barbosa last time, but I think Barbosa's style was much more suited to him. Still to come, Commonwealth lightweight title championship action with David Burke and Gary Hibbert. Domestic clash later on. Computer says Dodson's landed a lot more headshots so far, but he's having one of those frustrating off nights here, isn't he?
Yes, having a very poor night, and I think motivation is difficult for him. The corner are trying to get him going, but he's struggling. He's struggling against this sort of opponent, but this is all part of the learning process. What he's got to do is start throwing shots, because Algoet's starting to get in this fight on my card. I've got him winning the last 2 rounds and only 1 point in it in Dodson's favour.
Crikey. Here's round 6. Right hand gets through from Algoet. And again, the defence of Dodson looks woefully disorganised. This wily old knowing campaigner is making it uncomfortable for Tony Dodson at the moment.
And Algoet, the sort of fighter, you know, when he gets in the fight, you know, will start to gain confidence and make it more and more difficult.
He actually went the full 8 with Roman Karmazan, who was lined up to fight Oscar De La Hoya. The fight never happened in the end, but Karmazan was the WBC #1 for a while. So his durability record is very good, Algoet.
But it's okay being durable, but, you know, Dodson isn't really testing his durability because he's not doing enough. He's been outworked inside. It's a very, very lackluster performance from Tony Dodson.
How much of it can be explained by the 6-month absence with the broken right hand?
Well, you know, I mean, the thing is, he is throwing the right hand. You know, he's just been beaten to the punch. You know, he's not really thinking about it. Obviously, there's a little bit of ring rust, but, you know, he should have worked long and hard in the gym on sparring to get his timing back. Again, it's Algoet inside who's getting the shots off.
He's just not doing enough here, Dodson, in this round. Having said that, he does show the right hand. Well, he's a curious kind of performer, capable of looking very promising or pretty bad.
That's exactly right, and on this case, looking pretty bad. He's really got to lift himself. I think concentration could be a problem for him. He's young, and I think he doesn't quite get himself fired up enough, and it takes a bit of fear, you know, the opponent being good, for him to get his attention.
Let's go backstage now, and Craig Slater has someone for us to meet. Well, he will do in a minute anyway. He's going to have a shot, I think, with David Burke, who goes for the Commonwealth lightweight title in a moment against Gary Hibbert. Well, I don't think we are going to talk to David Burke, but maybe we'll have a little chat with him sometime pre-fight, but this is a big, big night for David Burke.
Yeah, the tension really building here. I can hear you. Yeah, the tension really building here. Let's grab a quick word, if we can, with David Burke's trainer, Chris Firth. Chris, how do you reckon this will go?
Won't be an easy contest. We don't expect it to be. We know Gary very well. Bit of rivalry between Liverpool and Manchester, as you can expect. Like, but with the support David's got in there, he'll be super confident, and they'll bring him on a bundle.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, a quick word with the trainer in the end. Sorry about the glitches between ringside and backstage there, but I think you got the drift. Back to this one, 7th round. Mike Algoet, the Benelux middleweight champion, for what it's worth, giving Tony Dodson an unexpectedly hard time here. And proving quite competitive. It's getting quite close, this, isn't it, too?
Well, I've given him Algoet the last round. I've got it even at this point. So, you know, Dodson really has to start getting about his work and doing something.
He's got natural advantages of height and reach here, which he hasn't utilised at all.
Well, he's also inside. He's been far too keen to hold, and you know, that's a problem for a young man who's trained as a fighter. You know, he's got to start working. He's got to start learning how to fight inside and show a little bit of devil in there. The one fight that he did lose, he was just hustled out of it, and you know, it would be terrible if this happens here.
could do too. I mean, Algoet, let's be honest, is strictly limited, isn't he?
Oh, very, very limited. I mean, he's having a few problems, Dodson, with the southpaw stance, but you know, it shouldn't take long to work it out. You know, he's much bigger, much stronger. You know, he's got to use that.
He's got a little uppercut on the inside from Dodson. He's just looked sluggish tonight. It does happen, of course, to fighters. They are allowed off nights. I suppose it is a happy habit to be on your best form when the big ones come around, and it happened with Dodson when he fought Barbosa.
But he's at home, he's getting TV coverage. You know, he really needs to start impressing. He caught people's attention last time. You've got to carry that on. And really, with this sort of opponent, you know, he's really made for Dodson. Dodson should be doing a good job.
As heaven alone knows, it's difficult for fighters to get projection these days when most of the newspapers basically have stopped reporting the sport, it seems to me. Particularly for fighters at this kind of level, anyway.
Well, again, he's allowing himself to be outworked a little bit there by Algoet, pushed back on the ropes. He's the bigger man. He's got to start thinking like the big man.
He's very strong, though, this Algoet, and he looks well up for it, too. I think Tony Dodson knows that it's a hard struggle, and he's not impressing in there, and he loves his boxing so much. He so much wants to do well, and he's pretty honest about himself, and I bet you there's a lot of self-recrimination going on in his head.
Yeah, well, more punches landed, 70 to 59 in Dodson's favour. Better success rate. I'll go missing with a few more, but not much in it. I'd probably give Dodson the last round, but you know, he's still very, very flat in there, and you know, really needs to get a spark from somewhere and start throwing shots. There's just 3 rounds to go. Only 1 round in on my card unofficially, but it's certainly nothing spectacular.
Round 8. Due to go 10, this one. Dodson probably ahead on the referee's card, but Algoet is really pushing him.
Well, the lack of punches makes you wonder, has he got hand problems again? There certainly has been a reluctance to let the shots go.
Well, the problem he had was with the right hand. There's not too much reason why we wouldn't see the left jab, is there?
Nope. Unless he's hurt that hand as well, you know what I mean? Bad hands, you know, when you've got them, it normally affects both of them if the bones are brittle. And he did have what seemed like a nasty injury last time.
Or are you just giving him excuses, Glenn?
Well, maybe so. But a peculiarly bad performance, you know, coming off such a good showing from him last time.
Shame to have to start the new season hitting so many negative notes, but you can only call it as you see it. Good left hand again from Algoet. We got him with the right to the body too. I don't think Dodson can work out his style at all.
Well, I think with the southpaw, the right hand's obviously got to be the effective punch. But you know, it looks pretty obvious against this man who's old. You need to throw combinations. One punch is not going to catch him. If you throw 2s, 3s, 4s, you know, the first 2 might, but the next 2 are going to.
Part of the boxing education too is being able to think your way through a fight and work out ways to deal with things. We haven't seen that from Dodson, but I do stress he still is only 22. Algoet's never really been in much trouble. never really been put under pressure.
Right, come on. Right.
At the moment, Tony Dodson looks as if he'd rather be doing the Times crossword or something than trying to work out Mike Algoet. Low blows, two of them from Dodson now. Well, this is close-ish, isn't it?
Well, I've got the fight level again. I give Algoet that round. He just did a little bit more for me. Very, very lackluster again from Dodson, and there's a good left hand, just giving Dodson a few problems there, and then a nice body shot.
And very little from Dodson in that round. Yeah, I gave it to Algoet too.
How do you have it, Ian?
I've got it pretty even as well. I haven't actually totted it up. I will in a moment, if you give me a few seconds.
Just want to surprise you there.
I've got it to Dodson by 1. But I might be being generous. He's glad the fight's not being judged in Bruges, Belgium tonight.
Well, that's it. But the Liverpool crowd pretty quiet here.
Let's go into Dodson's corner. Trainer John Rice is there with Adam Smith.
John, what's happening with Tony tonight? He's been out for a few months and he seems to be struggling with this awkward southpaw.
Well, we knew the contest was going to be awkward. We've seen shapes of the lad. For the life of me, I don't know what's up with him. I mean, everything's gone according to plan in the gym. All I can put it down to is maybe taking an extra £4 off. It's taking it out of him.
Do you think he's up or not?
I wouldn't really know. I think it's quite close myself.
So what are you going to say to him in the next round?
Well, what I've told him now, which I told him 2 rounds ago. I told him it was a 4-round fight now, and I wanted every round big. He tends to be waiting too long. He just doesn't seem to be firing on all cylinders at the moment, and I think, you know, for the life of me, I just can't fathom it out because everything's gone well. He felt well coming into the fight, but unfortunately, he just isn't coming off tonight.
Thanks, John.
That's a fascinating insight. Thanks, Adam. That's the trainer you were listening to there, John Rice of Dodson, and they're mystified by his performance. Now, the interesting clue was he said he took the extra £4 off to me. Is that the clue?
Well, it could be. Weight-making is fraught with danger, as I well know. It is difficult when you just go a little bit too far, and it really starts to hurt you.
See, that's one of the problems of making everything for a belt, isn't it, as well? You've got to make the championship limit. This could have just been an undercard fight for him, and there wouldn't have been that pressure, I guess.
That's right, but presumably he's had enough time to prepare for this fight, so there shouldn't really have been, you know, a late scramble.
Right.
Dodson himself, I'm sure, and his people are wondering how he could look so good last time against Barbosa and how bad he's looking here.
Well, winding up the big right hand and missing again with that punch.
The way this is going, Dodson really couldn't have too many complaints if he lost the decision.
Well, what he's not showing is heart and determination. You know, he's not showing that. If he's struggling, you know, he's got to dig deep. You know, that's part of the makeup of a fight. It's always, you know, as he goes on, there's going to be a lot harder tests for him down the road than this. So you've got to show a bit of character. And even when things are going bad, it's pulling that bit extra out.
I did admire John Rice's honesty there. There was no attempt, was there, to give us some kind of sugar-coated version or a lot of excuses. Well, bit of a turn-up for the books here because all the previews of this fight were describing Mike Algoet as a durable Belgian survivor and not much more. We thought Dodson would be putting on the pressure. It'd be a question of whether he'd be able to stop Algoet. Well, it hasn't turned out that way.
In fairness, and you know, Algoet hasn't shown us much more than that either, has he? You know, really, You know, he hasn't done anything that special. He's just tried a little bit harder. He's awkward. You know, he's not the, you know, anything exciting. It's just really Dodson is just so flat. Nothing coming from him. Just looks totally disinterested.
It's a weird one. Maybe Dodson himself will be able to give some explanations.
Well, as you saw there, I've got Dodson behind now for the first time in this fight. Last round.
Here's the final round. Now Dodson has probably been told by the corner, you better go out and win this round, otherwise you might lose this fight. And this is a bit more purposeful. Now, why wasn't he doing something like this earlier?
Well, we're only about 20 seconds in, so you know, there's still time, but he needs to do this sort of work. He should have really right from the start.
Oh, left hand from Algoet, and Dodson walked onto that. And even against the light middleweight, it had its effect. It doubled the impact because he was walking into the punch.
Right, listen for the right, listen for it, listen.
But at least there's now some urgency about Dodson. That's just a slip. And he gets hit by Algoet while he's down.
Come here. 1 point.
Oh, he's getting a point deducted for that.
1 point.
Blimey.
Right, next
It's the
time,
first thing
you'll
he's
be
done
out.
wrong in the whole fight.
Very lucky.
Well, yeah, he was on the floor. He had slipped. It was certainly an illegal blow. He didn't warn him. He gave him straight away a warning. Maybe it's a little bit harsh.
That could be quite vital if it's a tight fight as well. Point off for Mike Algoet in the final round. He was out of order. I don't know whether the referee might have just given him a caution that time and said any more of it, you'll get a point deducted.
Right.
At least there's a bit of fire from Dodson in this last round. Kind of underlines the point to me we were making earlier though, Glenn. You know, when there's a bit of pressure on, suddenly he can do it.
Yeah, seems to like the big occasion much better. If that's so, you got to keep him in big fights and stay away from the journeyman because they give him a lot of trouble.
This is not a fellow to put into routine assignments, apparently. Which may not be quite the promoter's plans, of course.
Well, it does have more fighters. Styles make fights. Sometimes you really struggle with unorthodox fighters.
Right, come on, listen for it. Listen.
Again, he kind of walked onto a left hand.
Right, step back, then go, son.
Inside the last half minute, referee Tony Green will decide.
Well, he's done a bit more in this round, Dodson, and with the point off for Algoet, that could be a deciding factor.
It's going to be a 2-point margin round for him. He is winning this last round quite decisively.
Yep.
And he flings his arms up, and he does get the decision. But was it convincing? Definitely not. He's won it, and at least he can just go away. He's got the W on his record and put a bad night beside him, but I don't think any of the people in the corner are deluding themselves about the quality of that performance.
No, he looked tired. That was a very poor performance. Bit of a fan club there. You see growing there. They're happy enough, gets the win, but not in a good manner. 97 punches landed to 79 from Algoet. Better success rate. So the computer had him doing more. I had him in the end just 1 point ahead.
I had about 2 points to Dodson in the end with that 2-point margin in the last round. But he's a strange one to work out, all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, the referee Tony Green has scored this contest for Algoet 95 points, for Dodson 96 points. Your winner and the new WBF Intercontinental Super Middleweight Champion from Liverpool, England, the Warrior Tony Dodson.
Well, forget the bell, because that doesn't mean anything, but the scorecard was interesting there. But for the low blow, but for the deduction of a point in the last round, that would have been a draw.
Yeah, most definitely. He looked over at me there and shrugged his shoulders and gave a little half smile. He knows it wasn't a good performance.
Jim Watt, has Dodson got away with that one?
There's so much you can learn from that. There's so much Dodson can learn from this fight, because he made so many mistakes. There are certain rules when you're facing an opponent like this guy, and Dodson didn't follow any of the rules. He made so many mistakes. I mean, first and foremost, when you're in with a cagey, awkward southpaw, then first and foremost, you don't let him move in an anti-clockwise direction. Dodson let him do that all the way through the fight. You learn to land half-power punches, three-quarter-power punches before you start throwing the big bombs. He didn't do that. There were so many things he did wrong, but so many things he can learn from. I'm glad he had this fight, although he wouldn't have enjoyed it.
Let's see how he views his performance now. Adam Smith is waiting to talk to him.
Well, Tony, win number 14 for you, but it was a difficult one. How pleased were you with the performance? Surely not that happy.
Not at all. I mean, everyone has a bad day at the office. I mean, my son was born 2 weeks ago. I've lost a lot of sleep. I've had other things on my mind, but we ain't going to pull out no matter what. I got in there and say the truth, I needed the rounds because I've had no sparring whatsoever since the Barbosa fight.
And he was tricky, he was awkward, and we knew that on paper that was going to happen, but you just didn't really deal with him well enough.
I didn't know. I mean, I was a slugger tonight. I can't really get any positives about my performance apart from my heart. I was really, really tired and hit from the 4th round on. So, I mean, it took a lot to go to 10 and dig deep, but I'm happy with the win. I'll get more sparring in, get more training, keep working on things, but I mean, I'm only young, so there's loads to work on, but I'm not happy at all with the performance. But the main thing is I got the win.
Thanks for being so honest with us, Tony.
I mean, I am
well
honest, man. I mean, I'm a realist. I see how it is. If I fight like that against the top 5 in the country, I'm going to get knocked out.
Thanks very much, Tony.
That's what I mean.
OK, thanks.
Fair enough. Plenty to work on in the season ahead then for Dodson. What about David Burke in our top of the bill tonight? The Liverpool man hoping to build on what's been a very slow-burning career so far, as Adam reminds us.
The long and winding road.
David Burke's come up the hard way. The Liverpool lightweight remains a boxing mystery after years of frustration, but finally he fights for the Commonwealth crown.
You'll see the best of me on Saturday night and in the future years of on Sky. But no one's seen the best of me yet.
You need these sort of titles to get you really up for it.
Definitely, you'll have to see me over 12 rounds to really see how good I am.
I think he's the best lightweight in the country. He just needs people to shout his name from the rooftops and sing his praises a bit more.
Burke was a prestigious amateur whose ultimate moment came when he represented us at the greatest of sporting events, the Olympics, in Atlanta. But since '96, it's been a professional nightmare. Lost on undercards, left grinding in the gym. And Liverpool know all about waiting. Burke's beloved Reds are also desperate for their first Premiership title. And the boxer from Anfield has been gaining inspiration from the other legends of the city. The local lads on Merseyside have never had it easy.
It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog.
Now 27 and having worked his way through preliminary opposition, it's time for Burke to reap the rewards for his young children, 13-month-old David and 3-year-old Mia. Could their daddy just become the latest Liverpool success story?
He's one to watch. After all, he had the perfect pedigree, Atlanta Olympian, steadily ticking over since, and he's future superstar.
This is the breakthrough you've wanted.
Yeah, definitely. This is what I've been working for the last 6 years as a pro.
And you're going to take it?
Yeah, definitely.
All this in the shadow of the Liver building here in Liverpool, his hometown, and raucous support here tonight for him. Is it all going to work in his favour, do you feel?
I would think so. I would have Burke as a favourite, all things even facing Hibbert. It's a tough fight for him, but the fact that Hibbert's have to come in at such short notice, his confidence wants to high. I'm told that both boys have sparred with each other, so the good news is that they won't take 3 or 4 rounds to solve each other out. We should get right down to action. I expect a good fight, and I would expect Burke to have the edge.
But Jim, for you, is Burke unproven?
He is unproven, and unfortunately tonight won't prove anything. if he wins tonight, he will become world champion, but we still won't know if he's good enough. He still has a lot to do, and he must win convincingly tonight if he's going to move on to the next level.
Well, there'll be no excuses, as Jim points out, because these two know each other so well. Craig Slater on an opponent, Hibbert, given a last-minute opportunity here.
When Gary Hibbert and David Burke sparred together, it left both men bloodied and bruised. A feud was brewing.
Yeah, well, there's always been a football, whatever. There's a Liverpool man, it's just one of them things. Until that bell rings at the end of the fight, you know, there's no friends, nothing about it. We both want to win. I know he can't afford to lose, I definitely can't afford to lose.
Injuries blighted Hibbert's early progress. But having regained momentum with a series of knockout wins, disaster struck against Andrei Deviatolkin.
I put that well behind me, I've learnt from it, I've got a lot better from it. I've had a lot of opponents on the floor that I haven't actually stopped. I think my power is underrated. If he does underrate, he'll come unstuck because I have got the power line.
And Hibbert has the chance to bounce back straight away. He's in shape and comfortably made the weight. As did Burke. It promises to be explosive.
Big opportunity. 3 days notice, but I've got to take it. You know, it's changed my life, changed my boxing life anyway, and I'm going to take it. Got to take it.
Question marks against both then as they try to break through at lightweight. Also with us tonight, a man who generally does have that winning edge, the British champion Bobby Vanzies with Adam.
Yes, very, very interesting encounter, Bobby, between these two, Gary Hibbert and David Burke. There's little to choose on paper, isn't there?
You can't choose much between them. It's a very intriguing clash, and I'm looking forward to find out who's the victor of these two. I do feel that Gary Hibbert, to me, gets it, but only just. I think it'll go on points.
But he's come in at late notice. I know you've sparred with him, and he's very strong and tough. But David Burke has been preparing for so long for this Commonwealth chance. Doesn't that give him the edge?
I just don't think so, because obviously I've done a lot of sparring with Gary Hibbert. Now, I've got a very unorthodox style, as you know, and he doesn't cope with it that well, but he holds his own. Gary Hibbert does hold his own, so if he can cope with my style, then I think he will be able to cope with the southpaw style of David Burke.
Short or long, do you think?
I think it goes long, most definitely.
And Hibbert?
Hibbert for me on points.
Thanks very much, Bobby.
So what's all this? Burke was supposed to be the hometown favourite here, but it looks like some knowledgeable men think Hibbert's got every chance. Our top of the bill for the vacant Commonwealth lightweight title, David Burke against Gary Hibbert, is next. And on Wednesday night, the pay-per-view match, Newcastle against Leeds, live from St James's Park. And the number to call, as always, for that, 08705 160 160. Top of the bill time here in Liverpool, MC John MacDonald.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the fight of the night, the main event. It's a packed house here at the Everton Park Sports Centre. Our main event, let's welcome the boxers. Firstly, would you please welcome now from Oldham, Gary Hibbert.
Well, this is a real surprise chance for Gary Hibbert, who 3 days ago was not expecting to be on this bill, but David Burke had two opponents who fell through on him. So in comes Hibbert to fight a man who has been his sparring partner and friend. So that's an intriguing subplot here. Very capable, pretty competent, and it wouldn't be the biggest upset in the world if Hibbert was to come up with a win, would it?
No, it wouldn't be. In the end, they're all fighters, and you can be the best of friends outside. As soon as you get in that ring, it's business. That's what you train for.
Meanwhile, David Burke about to leave his dressing room for what undoubtedly is his biggest fight, a chance to become Commonwealth champion after a career that's, well, not so much been on the back burner. I'd say so far he hasn't even been in the kitchen and got anywhere near the oven.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It really has been slow burn, but he needs something big now.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ring from Liverpool, David Burke.
Well, that's what it is to fight in your home city. Loads of support. David Burke, normally quite shy, introverted, but tonight, top of the bill, and with a chance to make a major breakthrough. This undoubtedly is the biggest occasion in his career since he boxed at the Olympic Games in 1996.
Yeah, tremendous support for him here, and the crowd really are enjoying this. A big performance from him.
Taylor the tape looking like this for tonight's clash. Hibbert, in fact, is just a couple of days younger than Burke. They're both 27. Hibbert, a bit smaller, not much in it with the reach, but very good with his southpaw skills, incidentally. Watch for that. And they're both inside 9 stone 9 pounds. Good by Hibbert, of course, to make the weights at such short notice. Hibbert, pro for a year longer than David Burke, but their records a little bit similar. Hibbert maybe with a bit more of a dig, although Burke says his power is underrated. Hibbert has been beaten 3 times, mind you. Burke only once.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's standing room only. We're packed to the rafters here at the Everton Park Sports Centre for our main event, proudly presented by Barry Home for Ringside Boxing Promotions, in association with Prince Promotions and Matchroom Sport. Sponsored here by Hasselroad, and live and exclusive here on Sky Sports. You've joined us for a brand new season of championship boxing and the very best ringside seat in the business. All the officials have been appointed by the Commonwealth Council. Their supervisor at ringside, Mr. Dennis Lockton. The timekeeper at the bell from Halifax is Mr. Colin Roberts. And the referee in charge of the action and taking part in his 40th Commonwealth Championship. He's from Birmingham, and it's star referee Terry O'Connor. They are the officials. Let's meet the contestants. It's 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant Commonwealth Championship. Introducing to you firstly, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the blue and white trunks trimmed with silver. Weighing in at 9 stone 8 pounds 3 ounces, bringing his 17 fight record, 14 wins. 7 inside the scheduled distance, and only 3 losses. He's from Shannon's Gym Fighting Fit. Oldham, would you please welcome Gary Hibbert. And ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the blue corner, he's wearing the red and white trunks trimmed with gold and weighed in at 9 stone 8 pounds 2 ounces. 21 fight record, 20 wins, 6 inside the scheduled distance, and just 1 loss. He comes to the ring as an Olympic representative. Ladies and gentlemen, he's from Liverpool. Please welcome David Burke. Let's get the action underway. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant Commonwealth Lightweight Championship.
If I thought the rules pretty soft, and also I'm going to say break on it straight away. Shake hands, best of luck to both.
Terry O'Connor, the referee from Birmingham. Now David Burke has got to perform tonight. The days flirting around undercards, where he's been virtually invisible to the wider boxing public, are over. This should be graduation night. He hopes so. And how strange it is that he finds himself, because of people pulling out, James Armour and then Mike Mayora, he finds himself against the guy who was his sparring partner. It's different, isn't it, Glenn?
Well, it is, but you often fight people that you spar with, so it's nothing new. They're competitive, they're professionals, you know, and it means a lot to them. They know what they've got to do.
Burke wearing the red and white of his beloved Liverpool Football Club. He lives just 100 yards from the Shankly Gates at Anfield. Hibbert from Oldham, and there's a football link to him. He was with the Oldham Athletic School of Excellence. Pretty good player, apparently. But boxing is the sport in which they both shine. Good left hand from Burke. Classy, sharp. And then a body punch from him, too. Often looks at his best in the first couple of rounds, I've noticed.
Yeah, he is a pretty sharp, clean performer, but still carries that chin a little bit high. He's a bit upright. Hasn't quite really blended into the professional style yet.
These two know plenty about each other, quite obviously. Hibbert coming off his shot defeat to the Russian Andrei Devyatakin. He had a grotesque injury to his left eye that night. Nasty setback. His confidence might not be as high. Burke, by the way, 20 wins and only 1 defeat so far. That was against a Romanian who floored him and stopped him in 3. Burke kicking himself after that for making technical errors that night. Good body shot from Burke, who looked snappy early on here.
Yeah, he's doing the right thing. He's trying to control from centre ring behind that southpaw jab.
See, according to the stats, there wasn't much in it in height between them, but Burke looks significantly taller, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I mean, he's more upright. I think Hibbert has a wider stance, brings himself a little bit further down, but certainly Burke looks longer and taller.
One of our top lightweights, Bobby Vanzy at ringside. You heard him tip Hibbert to win this. Definitely the better work from Liverpool's David Burke in this first round. If he's not pumped up by this atmosphere, he never will be by anything. Absolutely packed to the rafters here at the Everton Park Centre tonight. It's good to see it generating quite an atmosphere.
Yep, and certainly David Burke getting off to the better start behind his southpaw jab, bringing in a nice left hand there, just using his textbook skills.
Burke, a product of the Salisbury Amateur Boxing Club in this city. He actually beat the highly regarded featherweight Scott Harrison in the amateurs, and the lights have gone out. They've seen it all now, or not seen it all, as the case may be. Somebody's put the money in the slot. Thank you, sir. Seen some fights which I'd rather have watched in complete darkness.
Oh, good left hand there, nice and sharp from Burke.
Out of that southpaw stance. He's only stopped 6 of his 20 victims, but he says we all underestimate his power.
Well, power does come if you plant your feet more, and often fighters, you know, move around a lot more, and in important fights they start planting their feet, looking for power, and they can't get it.
I think Burke's got plenty to prove. He's got quite a few critics who, quite honestly, don't think he's going to really make it to the top level as a professional. He has to prove them wrong. I remember Barry McGuigan being pretty critical of him after his last fight.
Well, this is the first step on the way to doing that. This is a good title, can make some money from this.
Sharp from Burke, who you've sensed has still been making that long transition from the amateurs to the pros. Sometimes you can be an amateur for too long, can't you?
Yep, that can happen. Just setting your ways too much and never really quite adapt to the professional style.
Hibbert not really able to get into this at the moment, being dominated technically by Burke. He's very adept at finding little gaps for that left hand of his.
Well, so far Hibbert just giving Burke too much room, and Burke can use his skills with the bit of distance between them. Hibbert needs to get in, start unloading a little bit.
Sharp left hand. Hibbert, though, is the kind of fighter who knows what he's doing in there. And a good little run before that shock defeat. In fact, he won 4 times in a row inside 3 rounds, including a revenge win over Alan Temple.
Decent right hand there from Hibbert.
Little bit of blood on the cheek of Burke. Just a nick. But he's right on top, isn't he?
Yeah, he's boxing well behind that jab.
That's the David Burke corner, Chris Furr. It used to be with Colin Moorcroft. There was an amicable parting of the ways, and Burke's the main man now. It's a camp that has Gary Lockett, Gary Thornhill, Peter Coleshaw, and until recently, Johnny Armour as well. But I understand that the camp won't be handing Armour for his 3rd match with Ampopo, which is coming up. There's another one to catch on Sky soon. 3rd round of this, red colours of David Burke, who certainly won the first 2 rounds. Commonwealth Lightweight Championship, which dates all the way back to 1890. Big names like Freddie Welsh, Eric Boone, Dave Charnley and Billy Schwer have been among those who've held the crown. In fact, Dave Charnley was probably the best boxer Britain ever produced, never to win a world title.
Well, still Burke looking to box from long range, keeping his hands up pretty tight and sharp punches straight down the middle.
Sometimes see Burke go off the boil after the first couple of rounds. If he hasn't forced the stoppage early, he doesn't force it at all.
Yeah, that seems to be a pattern with him. So that gives, you know, Hibbert a little chance to get in this fight and start putting some pressure on.
Sharp, fast left hand from Burke. It's his main weapon. Could produce a nice little earner, couldn't it, for the winner? Could defend this title, top bills, make some reasonable money.
That's right, it's a decent title to have, and you know, it's always pretty good profile.
Good right hand, he's gone with a couple of those to the body in this round. A bit better from Hibbert. The friendship is suspended for the 50 minutes or so of the fight, if it lasts that long, of course.
I was trying to get some shots off, but it's Burke coming out of it the better. Still that little bit sharper than Hibbert.
Hibbert's done a little better in this round, though.
Yes, he's picked it up, but it's still difficult to get past that jab and that straight left hand of Burke's.
Yeah, still Burke's round again. Oh, and a left hand! Push Hibbert on the floor. Very fast, it landed around the temple. Hibbert bounced up again quickly. Has to take the mandatory 8 count. But that was a good punch from Burke. maybe we have been underestimating his power all this time.
Well, it was the speed there more than anything, a very quick, sharp, accurate punch. And I don't think he was hurt that much, but it certainly took him by surprise. Just on the side, almost near the top of the head, that punch, and I think that just disturbed him momentarily. Just on the side of the head, just shook him up and put him on the floor briefly.
He winked at the corner straight away, Bob Shannon in the corner. And the nice guys of the Northern Circuit, with his son Robert there. And Hibbert was not expected to win this fight, coming in so late. In fact, it actually went to the Commonwealth Championship Committee to be sanctioned this fight. They had a meeting by phone, and it was 14-3 to let it go ahead. I suppose with Burke having prepared and Hibbert in good shape, it was probably the correct decision. Though there will be people who say, well, what's Hibbert really done to deserve the chance? Well, he's here and he's looking to take that opportunity, but having trouble so far. Burke's looked dominant. Any good body shot from Hibbert?
Well, he's going to try to the body, try and bring those hands down, expose the chin, which does get held pretty high from Burke.
He's still very upright, isn't he, in his style?
Yes, he is. He's never really changed that from the amateurs. Needs to get that chin down, just roll the shoulders a little bit more, get a bit of rhythm into his upper body.
Hibbert found a very good-looking right hand there. Of course, you've got the old Liverpool-Manchester rivalry on view here. Rival fans, let's hope everybody behaves themselves. The atmosphere's been friendly rivalry so far between them.
With the two good left hands from Burke, starting to get to Hibbert more and more.
Bit of bruising on Burke's cheek, but that's his only problem so far. Good hand speed, isn't he, with that left hand?
Yes, good hand speed, nice and accurate as well.
It's not one of those barn-storming, crowd-pleasing styles that Burke has. He probably wouldn't be everybody's cup of tea, but he's a pretty effective fighter.
He's getting a bit frustrated there, Hibbert, trying to pull Burke round.
Who in the past has had a neck injury and a cruciate knee injury too. At that time he took another left hand to the head, which definitely rocked him. He waves Burke in.
Burke lands a good uppercut. Got Hibbert in a bit of trouble here.
It's all Burke so far, this. Now then, Bobby Vanzi, who's held this title in recent times, is at ringside and he's with Adam Smith.
Well, we've waited 6 years to see the real David Burke, and we're learning a bit about him, aren't we?
I'm impressed with the guy. Fantastic boxer, very sharp. And a lot of people are saying the guy can punch, but he's very sharp. And that adds to your punch power, because as soon as you get jolted with a shot, you don't see. You don't need to have much power because you're out. If you get hit with a shot, you don't see.
You were very pro Gary Hibbert at the beginning. Do you think he can come back from this, or do you see Burke winning it easily?
If we go on boxing skills, I think that David Burke has got the ability to win this fight, most definitely, inside schedule. But with heart, Gary Hibbert has got a heart, and he's got that punch as well. He has got a decent left hook, and if he lands that, I think it could be all over. So I'm still going with Gary Hibbert, but I'm very impressed with David Burke.
Yes, very, very impressive performance so far, Ian.
That's a big call by Bobby Vance. He still thinks Hibbert can win.
Well, he's still got a chance. The chin still gets carried a little bit high, but Burke looks on good form here. Very sharp, not doing very much wrong at all.
4 rounds gone, 4 rounds to Burke, and one of them a 10-8 round because of the knockdown in the third.
With a sharp left hand going in, sending the sweat spraying from the head of Hibbert.
Well, can Hibbert find one of those left hooks that Bobby Vanzi was talking about? He's definitely one of those fighters who's paid his dues around the business on the Northern Circuit. There's Gary Hibbert.
Well, he's showing a bit of class in there so far, David Burke.
I think he was one of only 2, wasn't he, who went to the Olympics for Britain in '96. I think the other was Fola Okasola. Much harder to actually get into the big event these days since they tightened up the entry. He was beaten in his first bout by a German, but narrowly. I think it was 13-9, something like that.
Well, it's still a big achievement these days to get to an Olympics.
It's good covering up by Hibbert, who seemed to get the gloves up.
Yeah, he's getting the gloves up now and again, but he's got to start doing something. He needs to start landing punches.
How difficult is it mentally, do you think, for these two? They've sparred together for 3 weeks, and Hibbert was helping Burke to get ready for James Armour. Then this Kenyan guy, suddenly they're fighting each other for real.
Well, it is difficult. I mean, you often spar with people and then fight them, but to fight them to spar with them this close, you know, for this fight, that makes it difficult. You know, you've got to have the transition to get in the mood for fighting. I mean, Hibbert was just there as a sparring partner, now he's there as a competitor. That's difficult.
In the gym it would have been with the head guards and bigger gloves.
Well, that's practice. It does get tough sparring, but it's still practice. This is for real.
With the Commonwealth Championship belt dangling at the end of it all. A bit better from Hibbert in that round.
An interactive doubleheader, Green Bay, Atlanta, followed by Denver against St. Louis. All the action live from 5:30 on Sky Sports Extra. Burke on top. Hibbert needs to find more here. Glenn and Ian.
He's got a few fans here as well, Gary Hibbert, and one of them shouted out to him amid the silence between the rounds, "Come on, this is your big shot, Gary. You've got to do more."
Well, that's exactly right. He does have to do a lot more. He's got to somehow get past that jab and that straight left and start applying some pressure to David Burke. Somehow he's got to try and drag David Burke into a fight.
The trouble is, Burke's pretty adept at counter-punching. To try to close the range, he's going to ram in one of those left hands. So it's got to be smart pressure, hasn't it?
It has. You know, he's got to find some angles to get in, you know, or either all of the height come in underneath.
Fact of the matter is, these two fellas have got to really prove they belong with the top guys in this division in Britain, and that would be Colin Dunn, Bobby Vanzi, Jason Cook, well done to him, he's just become the European champion. Steve Murray still waiting and hoping.
Well, nice combinations there from Burke.
But Burke can join that more elite group, I think, with the win here to become Commonwealth champion. He can get himself into the mix, can't he?
Yes, and that's really where he wants to be. That's where the paydays are.
It's a snappy display from him so far. Hibbert, I think, a bit bemused and bewildered by the hand speed. there's not much head movement from him. And there's another jolting left hand. Didn't he pick that punch well?
He picked it lovely.
Oh.
So far, you're looking at the two. Hibbert is the one that's, he's fighting like the sparring partner. He's coming second almost all the time.
Hope he's getting a bit more than he did for the sparring.
I'm sure he is.
Deserves it. Because in a sense he's saved the show, hasn't he?
Most definitely.
I mean, who else would they have found who could have made them wait at 3 days' notice?
That's right. I mean, it's also difficult for Burke. He's had change of opponents. That's always a problem.
Swollen around the left cheekbone, David Burke. Just can't get his punches off at all, Gary Hibbert here. He's being outboxed. Round after round to Burke, who's in a big lead. Welcome back to Liverpool on this championship night of boxing to start the new season. And the computer telling you just how dominant David Burke has been. Massively so. Burke in the red and white. Absolutely devoted to his 2 young children, 3-year-old daughter and his baby boy, David Jr. Apparently not so many of the wild nights out for David these days, more happy reading the bedtime stories to the kids. So they tell us anyway.
Well, let's hope so. He needs to have been focused for this fight.
Now, can Hibbert get into this somehow? See, you wonder, don't you, about these sparring sessions they would have had, whether mentally Hibbert knows that Burke is pretty handy technically and has his measure.
That's right, and also can he raise himself? Can he mentally raise himself to go from the sparring partner and try and win a title?
Well, it looks like he can, judging by that gesture there. And he absolutely snarled through the gum shield at Burke.
Well, I mean, showing aggression, but is that just frustration coming in and not being able to do anything?
Might be, yeah. Look for the uppercut. I think Hibbert blocked it all right. Into the second half of the fight. Burke's dominated so far. Could Hibbert claw his way back in the later rounds? Hibbert's never made serious money from this business. He's had to supplement his income being a carpet fitter. Oh, that left hand did get through from Burke. Good shot. Hibbert took it well and fires back.
Well, he's still picking the stylish punches, Burke.
It's getting closer this round, Hibbert.
Well, he is, but the eye-catching punches are still coming from Burke. He knows what he's got to do here, but he's got to try and get in, but doing it's a different story.
There's a rib cruncher in there from David Burke. Again, Hibbert snarls at him. It's almost like he's trying to gee himself up in there, Gary Hibbert. And whatever the friendship between these two out of the ring, it's certainly being forgotten now. the tempo, I think, here, Gary Hibbert.
Well, he knows he's got to. He's not getting any success, so he's got to try and get close.
Right, take your feet with you all the time, Gary. Don't you?
By the way, the promoters were very annoyed this week with the British High Commission in Nairobi when this Kenyan Michael Mayura was not given a visa in time. They said they didn't have time to do it. So the MPs were called in everything. There's going to be hell to play. According to Barry Hearn, anyway, doesn't matter about the Iraqi question. He's worried about Michael Mayura.
Well, there he's trying to get close. He's trying to work away, but Burke still manages to come out with a nice left hand.
Round 8, red and white. David Burke, the former Olympian of 1996, who's really been in the shadows in his professional career until tonight. Could all change if he can win this fight. He's not really going to care much who it is he had to beat in the end. Remember, there's problems for Burke too. He prepared for James Armour, that tough Ghanaian, then the Kenyan, then it was the fellow he'd sparred with. Bit chaotic.
But when you're fighting for titles, you're just glad to get the chance.
Now can Hibbert find a peach of a punch? Once or twice in the past, Burke has looked as if he could be a little fragile. Not often.
Well, can Hibbert find something? He's got to really try and find a punch that takes a lot out of Burke. It makes Burke think, because at the minute Burke, you know, he's comfortable, he's boxing the way he wants, he's getting his shots off well.
Let's hope this season we see these lightweights of ours maybe mixing it up with each other a bit. Not quite so snappy in this round, Burke.
No, maybe just starting to feel the pace a little bit.
He's only ever gone 8 rounds once before, in fact, David Burke. That was against Alan Temple.
That mentally could be a problem from here on in. You know, when he's in unknown territory. When that starts to get hard, you start to wonder about your fitness. You start having a few doubts mentally.
The cut on the left cheek of Burke just gets a little worse too. This is his least impressive round, I'd say.
Yes, he's just getting tired, not getting the shots off, all getting a bit of a maul. But Hibbert still not finding the shots, even when Burke has dropped off the pace.
Yeah, there was an argument for saying that one was maybe even. Don't think Hibbert did enough to win it. Let's have a look at this this British scene that we've been going on about. Colin Dunn deserves to be up at that #1 ranking, re-establishing himself with that win over Wayne Rigby. Then Bobby Vanzi, who does very little wrong, really, did lose to Armour, a bit of a debatable one. Jason Cook, the new European champion, the Welshman. Michael Ayres hasn't announced his retirement yet. Steve Murray, the big puncher from Harlow, still very much in the mix. Burke there at 7 and Hibbert at 9. That's what the computer says. Look at that. Headshots landed. Burke way ahead.
Yeah, an awful lot. That just shows how accurate he has been.
9th round. Burke in the red and white, the blue of Oldham's Gary Hibbert.
A big margin on my card. Haven't given Hibbert a round. Give him a share of the last. So getting a bit closer, but still 8 points in it on my scorecard.
That's landslide, isn't it? So Hibbert really needs to do something quite spectacular late on here if he's to cause an upset. Because Liverpool recently had another Commonwealth champion crowned in Michael Jones at light middleweight. He's one of the few light middleweights we've had who's been making ground over the past few months.
Yeah, and he's ringside to watch. Fellow Liverpoolian.
Haven't seen him.
David Burke try and be the second.
Ricky Hatton's here as well. Bobby Vanzi, of course. A few fighters around tonight, and a goodly crowd as well.
Well, still Hibbert unable to pick up the pace, tries a little rush there, but still nothing really come of it.
He'll be frustrated, I think, Gary Hibbert. Nick Burke up the higher echelons is the kind who's always going to have to do it by the long route, isn't he?
Yes, I think as he moves up, that's how he is. But boxing nice and sharply here, has got good boxing skills.
Here he's boxing in a 9th round for the first time in his life, by the way. New territory.
Well, I'm sure he's done this in sparring. If they've worked him right, mentally it shouldn't be a problem.
Just getting a little ragged. A lot of holding on the inside, and not really room for either of them to work.
In them shots from Burke, but he's catching the eye of the crowd, acknowledging that.
And just not enough from Hibbert again. Burke in a big lead. Well, I told you Ricky Hatton's here. He's fighting Steve Smith on September the 28th. He's with Adam Smith at ringside now.
Yes, Ian, and he's also sparred with David Burke beforehand. But how do you think he's doing in the ring tonight? I mean, he's won pretty much everything, hasn't he?
Yeah, I know Gary a bit. He's a Manchester lad, and he's no pushover. But David's had it completely all his own way tonight. I haven't really give Gary a single round yet. It's a little bit of a masterclass by Burke.
Do you think he needed a title to fight for and to show his skill over the course of 12 rounds?
That's right. Yeah, he's had a long, he's had a slow burning career, David Burke. And this is his opportunity to shine. And like you say, I know Gary Hibbert as a Manchester lad. He's far from pushover, but David's just been exceptional tonight.
And I think you've got a friend here who just wants an autograph. I'll give you a pen.
He's a Liverpool fan, though, so I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of them asking for his autograph these days. Ricky Hatton moving from Adam Smith to Stephen Smith in a couple of weeks' time. Burke in the red and white in a massive lead. Good little body shot from Hibbert. But he can't really get properly competitive.
Yes, the pattern hasn't changed really. It's Burke doing the boxing, keeping centre of the ring for the most part, and just peppering Hibbert with good sharp shots.
Cuts on either cheekbone for David Burke, but he's within sight now of his most significant victory.
Well, a bit of sportsmanship between the two there. Burke just hitting Hibbert on the back of the head, and they acknowledge that.
Body shot from Hibbert, then a head punch back on the counter, and down goes Hibbert for the second time. Bounces back quickly. Clever work by Burke. Down for the second time. And now Burke wants it over with. Finds two more uppercuts. Hibbert's all right. Burke just loses his footing momentarily. Hibbert holding on. And the referee has stopped the fight. That's enough. Hibbert complains. But I think the referee had in his mind how far Gary Hibbert was behind as well, and could see no way back for him. He'd been down twice, and David Burke is crowned Commonwealth lightweight champion. Many congratulations to him after such a long career on undercards. He's made it at last.
Well, he boxed very well indeed. I think really the referee was right. It's a shame for Hibbert, but nothing really come back. Some nice punches. He did look shaken up a bit by that, and he was so far behind. I thought it was a good decision from the referee.
Yeah, I agree with you, Glenn. I think it was a compassionate decision. There was no way that Hibbert was going to win the fight. He was being well outboxed, losing every round virtually. He'd been down twice. And I think the referee took the view, no point in him taking any more when he's this tired, this late on.
Yeah, I think that was the right and good decision. Well, that was a good performance from David Burke. Really did box well. There's the nice little left hand. There was a shot behind the head, but the damage had already been done. He got up a bit too quick, I think. That was the problem. Could have been better if he just took more of a count on one knee.
That's pride, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's also your natural instinct. But it was a good shot. Really did take everything out of him. That one short little left hook.
A crowning night for David Burke, and this is where the referee, with Hibbert a bit disorientated, says that'll do, no more. Big moment for Burke, who drop-kicks his gum shield into the crowd by way of celebration.
Yeah, there's nothing coming back from Hibbert there. He's just trying to hang on in those few seconds, and that was good. Burke had the right instincts to get him out of there.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee has called a halt to the battle. 1 minute 59 seconds of the 9th round. Referee Terry O'Connor has stopped the contest. Hibbert in no position to continue. Your winner and new lightweight champion from Liverpool, David Burke.
And after the break, we will have a chat with the winner and new champion, David Burke, right after this break.
Ladies and gentlemen,
6 years we've been waiting. 6 years David Burke has been waiting to break through, but he is the new Commonwealth lightweight champion tonight. Gary Hibbert down in the 3rd round, and Burke well on top throughout, dictating terms. Hibbert maybe got a little bit closer in the middle rounds, but off his jab, the southpaw lead, Burke dominant in most respects. And when Hibbert went again in the 10th round, referee Terry O'Connor had quickly seen enough of the one-way traffic here and looking for the opportunity to jump in. Burke going beyond 8 rounds for the first time too. He truly is in championship class. It's all happening. Well done. He's speaking to Adam Smith.
David, congratulations. How does that feel to have the Commonwealth title around your waist after years and years of frustration?
It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. I feel over the moon, to be honest.
Did it all go according to plan? It looked like a boxing masterclass in there.
It was, that's what I was doing. I was just getting behind my jab, using my jab to try and put him off from doing anything to get through me. And it just worked perfect. Caught me with a few shots, but I have to learn on that, pick it up, and learn to move my head a bit more.
Let's bring your trainer Chris Firth in. You say he's the best lightweight in the country. Well, he looked pretty good tonight.
Most skillful lightweight in the country, no doubt, and showed he's got the power as well. Nobody believes he's only taken it with only 6 stoppages, but it's just time and we'll get there. Longer fights, he'll He'll be stopping a few now, you see.
Fantastic night for Liverpool. Terrific atmosphere, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Look at the car really helped me pick me up in there. When I was feeling sometimes feeling a little bit tired, but then there's a car and picked me up and just dug deeper there.
We'll be back to see you again. Well done tonight, David.
As stated, Jim, this is the most unpredictable business of all. You didn't expect that Burke would win by a stoppage tonight, did you?
No, we didn't. I settled in, even during the action, I settled down to a points win. But you have to say, everything was spot on, so precise, the box was so precise. He got himself into the driving seat straight away in the first round, and nothing Hibbert did could shake him out of that. His southpaw jab worked perfectly. Probably his first defence will be against James Armagh, the former champion. But with that kind of form and such an accurate jab, I don't think he has to fear anyone in the Commonwealth.
Has he proven plenty to himself tonight, as well as to the watching public and our viewers?
I think one of his problems in the past has been a lack of confidence. I don't think, but he's been thrown in the big stage tonight, and he's performed so well. And the fact that he can totally dominate Hibbert, I thought it would have been a far tougher battle. I thought Hibbert would put up a real strong argument, but he didn't. Burke totally outboxed him, totally dominated him for the full 9 rounds it lasted, and I'm sure that will do wonders for his confidence.
Thank you, Jim. Let's get some closing thoughts from Bobby Vanzi and Ricky Hatton now.
Well, both of you guys thought Gary Hibbert would win the fight. You were wrong, Bobby.
Yeah, I stand corrected. I mean, I'm very impressed with David Burke. He looked fantastic tonight. As I said, I'd only ever seen him once against Anthony Maynard, and I couldn't really judge how good he was off that performance. But tonight, he showed me that there's some competition out there, seriously, on the domestic scene. But best lightweight in the country, that title only been deserved to one guy, you know.
But it's a well-kept secret, isn't he, David Burke? And now it's out.
It is, yeah. It's been a slow career for him, but if you didn't hear David Burke, before tonight, you certainly do now. I mean, from start to finish, he didn't really, put a foot wrong tonight. It was very impressive.
Now, you've got a big night on September the 28th against his old foe, Stephen Smith. Bobby, who do you think wins that?
I think the outcome will be Ricky Hatton does win, but I don't think it's as much a foregone conclusion as people think. It's certainly not a formality, because Stephen Smith will pose Ricky a lot of problems in the first half of the fight. But I do believe that Stephen Smith cannot take a body shot, and if you can't take a body shot with this guy here, you're in trouble, serious trouble. So
thanks a lot, Bobby. Get back to the gym, Ricky. Well done tonight. Cheers.
We have lots to argue over in the next few weeks. Saturday fight night next Saturday night at 8 on Sky Sports 1. Top of the bill, the big hope in London, Kevin Lear, the super featherweight, against foreign opposition, and the return of Wayne McCulloch to our shores. Colin Dunn, Johnny Armour, and Nicky Booth also in action on September the 21st on Sky Sports 1 on Saturday fight night. And at the end of September, it is Ricky Hatton, Stephen Smith top of the bill, and also on that night, the return of Anthony Farnell up against Ruben Grunewald in a grudge rematch. One other certainty in this unpredictable business, Jim Watt will be back. Enjoyed this one. Thanks very much for being with us. Lots more to come in September. Bye for now.
And that's a tremendous fillip for Wayne McCulloch. And Wayne McCulloch is back. There's a nice left hook twice over, right hand as well, and body shot. Lear picks it up here.
An excellent win. He really did box out of his skin.
And a left hook, tremendous shot. The Dynamo Dunn wins again. This is the kind of tear-up people expected. Johnny Armour's got it. There's been a fair amount of anticipation ahead of this rematch. Phenomenal performance from both of them. Popo can't believe it. He thinks he's been robbed. Glenn and I agree. Oh, big right hand to finish the combination, and that was a spectacular from Nicky Booth. Really impressive with the left jab. Farnell has no answer to that.